slip, sliding away. That was the story of practice earlier today. Ricky Stenhouse, Clint Boyer, a brush with the wall. Kyle Busch, a near miss. Dale Jr. up the elevator, so was Jimmy Johnson. Same song, second verse. And Kyle Larson peeled a lot of paint off the wall and off of his Chevrolet. Charlotte Motor Speedway has been hard to get hold of today, but now the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series is on track for Coca-Cola 600 qualifying. Stormy weather here the last day and a half, but it's been a pretty sunny day. A lot of big high clouds. Winds out of the southwest. Track temp from about 115 down to 85 degrees. Some of the cosmetic damage remains, but we are hopeful that everybody is ready to go. The drawback the last few weeks has been getting your cars through NASCAR inspection, and that will be an issue again today, as NASCAR Vice President of Competition Scott Miller has texted us that everybody's been through inspection once, but teams are having trouble both with the templates and the laser inspection system. So inspection continues. Jeff Gordon is having trouble with his voice and a horrible cold, so much so that so he could get better, and so we don't get it. Jeff won't be joining us for qualifying today. He will be on hand hopefully for practice tomorrow, rather Saturday, and definitely for the 600 on Sunday night. So looking ahead to qualifying, what do we expect with all these cars that went sliding all but out of control and a couple up and into the wall?
Yeah, Mike, one thing we don't talk very much about is the aero changes that were made to these cars when the season started. I'm of the opinion as we go into the summer, now it's a little cool today and the track's not as hot as it was last week, but I'm of the opinion as the ambient temperature goes up, the downforce will go down. The thinner the air, the less downforce you're going to have. We got a little bitty blade on the back of these cars. These guys are trying to run around here like they did when they had that great big spoiler on the back, and the track just, the track won't hold the cars. I mean, the cars won't hold the track. The cars are faster than the track is. So I think that's why we're seeing guys get in trouble. Not enough rear downforce. The cars go in the corner, they get a little jukey, they get loose, they hit the fence.
It is quite a bit cooler now. The track temperature is, the ambience come down some compared to practice earlier today. Well, let's get down to the qualifying line. Jamie Little.
Well, I saw Danica earlier, but we didn't chat because you said you had some food poisoning. Are you feeling any better?
Yeah, a little. I'm not throwing up anymore, so that's good. You know, not a lot of food sounds good. So I pretty much just had a cookie today. That's about the only thing that sounded good, and a couple eggs. But yeah, the good news is I just need to go out and perform one lap at a time. So, and it doesn't change the way I feel the car. So it went okay in practice this morning. So hopefully we can get this Code 3 car somewhere good to start for the 600 so we can, you know, start a long race off on the right foot.
Definitely, and it's definitely gotten windier and cooler since we were on track earlier, Mike.
Well, hopefully, Jamie, that helps grip. There is a new grip strip at the top of the track since the All-Star race last weekend. We'll talk about that when we come back. Well, as we wait for qualifying, you're about to witness a very unique event. MRO is Motor Racing Outreach, and they minister to everybody in the garage area. That's Billy Malden. He's the president of MRO. He is a great source of inspiration to everybody within the NASCAR community. And these ladies are going to participate in the MRO, Motor Racing Outreach, Better Half High Heel Dash. Wives and girlfriends and participants are eligible for this. Look at the beautifully decorated shoes. I don't know if there's a template in use for some of those heels. Look a little short and a little wide compared to others. Okay. But that's not for us to judge, DW.
No, they're lined up to get ready. Oop, jump, no, false start. Bring it back. I like the way you're thinking,
little over anxious.
Like what you're thinking, but. Oh, one more. All right, you're going to have to start in the rear.
All right, back of the bus, back of the bus.
Yep, you're going to have to start after everybody else does. What the heck?
Yeah, all right. We got it this time? No, we don't.
Anxious to get going. Oh, that looked like a good start. Look at this.
Coming on the outside.
Dig. Oh.
for the tape photo finish.
I don't know who won, but she thinks she did. That was a race.
Meanwhile, here's Matt Yoakum.
And down in the garage area, Joey Logano's car waiting to go back through inspection. Ryan Blaney commenting on your new suit, special paint scheme this weekend, which is pretty cool because one of your teammates over in the IndyCar side, Elio Castro Neves, is going to be running the same deal. I know the captain would love for a suite, but you've got a little bit of work to do from last weekend.
We do. We got a great car, though. The Instant Gold is a Fuel Rewards Network promotion, and if you sign up, and if you're a member, you also get 5 cents off a gallon. So we got some cool things going on with this and the Indy 500 with Elio. So we're looking to put this car up front, hopefully, and show some good speed with it.
Now, he's done it the last 2 years. He's sat on the front row, but I got to show you something here. You always see, they always think ahead. A perfectly sized cell phone pocket, and he's got the Sharpie. Let me just sign that suit for you. Mike?
Always ready. Let's check with Larry McReynolds.
Well, I don't have high heels and I don't have cell phone pocket, so I'm a little bit out right here. But, you know, you got to applaud the people here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They never quit working to make things better. After the All-Star race the other night, they came in here during the week and they put a traction compound. They went about a groove and a half off the bottom of the racetrack all the way up to the top, a lot like what they put down at Bristol Motor Speedway. And while I was very encouraged that in Xfinity Series practice, remember, they were getting ready to race, drivers were using that. I think in this qualifying session, the only way they're going to see it, you can see it right here, it's about a groove and a half off the bottom. It's the black part of the racetrack, and it creates more grip, more traction. I think it's going to be a big player in the Coke 600 on Sunday night. Now, I think for qualifying, these drivers will be right around the bottom. But, Jamie, I think through 3 and 4, to get that lap started in a big way, they'll be using that grip strip up at the top of 3 and 4.
Well, they're definitely taking note, and they're making air pressure adjustments as we speak for Austin Dillon's 3-car. By the way, very patriotic, Old Glory. I love the paint scheme. Do you think she's fast enough to be on the pole here?
I think we got a chance, man. We've brought a new bullet, and Justin and the boys have done a really good job today. Not a ton of changes. We're just trying to be as comfortable as we can going into the night session. But I'm excited. I love coming to Charlotte. It's one of my favorite tracks to race at.
Some adjustments. Of course, he mentioned his new crew chief, Justin Alexander. So good luck, Austin Dillon.
I believe they've declared a photo finish in the better half dash.
Wow, close.
Very close. Pole qualifying coming up. Jimmy Johnson climbing aboard. One of 27 cars that have made it through inspection and out onto the line. As has Kevin Harvick. So after all the excitement of the All-Star race, we're back to 3-round knockout qualifying. Round 1, 40 cars, 24 advance. Round 2, 10 minutes, and 12 advance to the final round, where we set the first 6 rows of the field for the 600.
Saw Dale Jr. there talking to his crew chief, Greg Ives, and I was listening to Jr. do an interview a little bit ago, and he said they have absolutely mirrored that 48 car. Because they ran well over here last weekend, and Junior didn't. And so he said we tried to do everything to our car that they did to theirs to try to get some of the speed out of our car that they had in the 48.
Congratulations to Jenny Kelly, girlfriend of Jacob Ray, a tire changer for BKR. She comes from Maine, happy to be in North Carolina, and the winner of the better half high heel dash, beating Wendy Venturini by that much.
That was a sprint, man. They
Sure
came down
was.
through there.
Guys, we see the green flag waving that has started this first session. I only see 2 cars moving. You know, every track we go to is temperature sensitive. If it cools down, it gains grip. But I don't think none like Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I think a lot of these drivers, they're going to wait for a little bit in this first session, just hoping that the track is going to cool down and gain some grip. I think that's why we don't see the flurry of drivers headed out there to make a lap yet.
Yeah, good point, Larry. Rick Hendrick was quoted after Kansas of saying, we're going to get our arms around this. We're going to get our cars through inspection, and we're going to be out there. And they are. All 4 of the Hendrick Chevrolets are on the line and ready to go after making it through inspection. So I believe the cars going through now are going through for the 2nd time. And once all the cars that need to go through a second time make it through, they'll take cars that need a third try to pass the templates and the laser inspection station.
Well, Mike, we started qualifying. We're a couple of minutes into it already. But, you know, you have 20 minutes. And some of these guys seem to use about 18 of them before they get on the line. So you still got a little bit of time over there. You're not desperate yet.
And the only difference between coming out to the line early when the team can push your car out into position is now that the qualifying session has officially started, the team members aren't allowed to walk out past the pit stalls. So the driver has to be in the car and drive the car out onto pit road.
Mike, and you know this, Mike, the strategy these guys want to employ today is one lap. They want to come around, get the green, put down a really, really good lap, a solid lap. It will move them to the next round and save those tires for the second and third round.
Had a good conversation yesterday with Scott Miller at the NASCAR Hall of Fame vote. He's NASCAR's VP of competition. And he talked about the templates, the laser inspection system, the tolerances that are built in so that the teams should be able to go through that inspection station without difficulty. Now, some of the teams have been saying, well, we have steel wheels.
Yep.
They are not precise like a cast machined alloy wheel. So they have run out. Sometimes wheels are bent a little bit. And it has to be that way. And we're going to continue to have steel wheels because in an impact, a steel wheel can bend and hold the tire bead to the wheel and not have a sudden air loss and a crash. An alloy wheel would fracture or break. So we're going to stay with steel wheels. And he says the teams know the box they have to work in, and that if one wheel has a little more run out than another, don't put that wheel on to go through inspection and qualifying.
You know, Mike, at Robert Yates Racing, I'm talking over 20 years ago, I started using lasers to line our car up, align it. And I finally had to go back there to the machine shop and had them make me pieces to go off of the hubs, the front hubs and the rear hubs, because the steel wheels, I know things are better today, but it just kept throwing us curveballs. And I finally said, let's take the tires and wheels out of the equation. Let's just use the suspension. That way we've got some consistency.
Well, Larry, I just think it says there's a problem when you can roll a car through there and it's legal. Everything checks right. You can roll that same car around the corner, don't touch it, and roll it back in there, and it won't pass.
Understand that. And again, there are tolerances built in. And I go back to what Rick Hendrick said. At Kansas, 3 of his cars did not get a chance to make a qualifying lap. Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr., they couldn't get through inspection. And Rick publicly said, we're going to fix this. And here are all 4 of his cars out on the line, Darrell. So I'm not sure it's the system that's the problem.
Well, yeah, I'm not either. You know, when we have a sophisticated piece of equipment like that laser inspection system, and we're trying to measure cars that are not handcrafted. An Indy car, a Formula One car, they know within thousandths of what their cars should measure because that's what they live and die by. Here there's so many variables that sometimes and I'm not throwing anybody on the bus. I just think sometimes we're trying to ask too much of what we're working with.
Perhaps.
But I do agree with what Mike Helton told us a couple of weeks ago. He said, remember, these cars are no longer built with a measuring tape. They are built into the thousandths of an inch.
So NASCAR had to learn to officiate to 1,000th of an inch. All right, let's go back down to the inspection line. Here's Jamie.
Well, Chris Buescher just waiting now. He wants to get that Cars 3 car out on the racetrack. Are you hopeful you guys will make it as you go through now, I think, for the 4th time?
Yeah, we got to run back through, and I don't know what the deal is exactly. It's frustrating. You know, it's within 100th of an inch, and we obviously made an adjustment. It didn't change across there, so it's just aggravating. We're trying to get Lightning McQueen out on track. It's just not quite working out for us. But our Queen X Chevrolet, it had good speed in practice. We actually did some race runs, and they were really promising. Q trim was decent, so if we can get it out there, we should be able to get out there and get in good shape. Thanks.
Mike, just one more quick point before we talk about qualifying, which cars are on the track now. We got Greg Gaulding just made a lap of 29.25. I heard Adam Stevens last week tell Kyle Busch, do your burnouts to the right. That was on the radio. I'm not telling you something that everybody didn't hear. And his explanation was because of the laser inspection system, if you don't do the burnouts to the right, you can cause your car to fail tech when they put it through after the race. I mean, that's how close they're cutting and how technical everything is.
It's a game of thousands, that's for sure. Here's our Just for Men driver profile, and it's the driver who dominated in Charlotte here last year, Martin Truex Jr. He's one of 4 drivers who have top 10s in all 4 races on the 1.5 mile tracks. We haven't seen much sun this afternoon during practice, but now turn 3 and the back straightaway are pretty brightly lit in sunshine.
I know coming up here, Mike, the wind was really howling. It was blowing really hard. And I'm looking at the flags. I always judge the wind off the flags that are in the garage area on the back of all the haulers. And they still look like they're pretty briskly moving around. So we've gotten pretty strong tailwind down that back straightaway, which with the bumps in turn 3 and a little tailwind, it can push you in that corner and get you in trouble.
Kevin Harvick, the Mobil 1-4, comes to the line.
I think we're going to get busy here shortly. The crew chiefs are watching the same thing I'm watching. I've been looking out the back of our booth, and that sun is about to go behind a very dark cloud. That's going to be free grip.
That wasn't very good. Way too loose.
28-33.
Not good. That's a little slower than what he was in practice.
Watch turn 2 here. Whoa, stepped out on him there.
Yeah.
Dale Jr. said he didn't, during practice, he did not want his car as loose as it was because he'd have to make a pretty big move to catch it if it snapped loose, and that would cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, we saw trouble at both ends of the speedway. We saw guys get in trouble off turn 2 over there. I think a lot of that is the grip strip over there. You run out of it. You're in it, and you run out of it. I thought the cars might be getting a little bit loose there. Turn 3, apparently, from what we're hearing and what we're seeing, has gotten really bumpy. And so when you get into turn 3, the car moves around quite a bit more than you're expecting it to, or that you want it to, and it's causing troubles in turns 3 and 4.
We heard some of that conversation last Saturday in practice for the All-Star race. Not a lot of it during the All-Star race, as NASCAR VP Steve O'Donnell jokes with Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, when you pin the cars down, real aggressive, we're talking Dale Jr. talking about an aggressive shock package. You're going to hold that car down to the ground as much as you possibly can. That's going to make it's going to make the bumps feel worse than what they will when you get ready to race. You lighten that package up a little bit.
Derek Cope in the Twin Peaks Toyota, and here's the Napa Chevrolet for Chase Elliott.
Watch his 24 car, Mike, as he goes into the 3rd turn. He's coming to get to green now. Oh, he's on a qualifying lap. But maybe we can see the cars, some of the movement that the guys are talking about as they go into turn 3 back there. I think he's probably up a little bit higher than he would like to be, and that white line is kind of your guideline. Looked like the car wouldn't stay down. But let's watch back here. Let's see what it looks like. See how it wobbles right there, just kind of pops through there. Apparently there's some pretty serious bumps back there now.
He had just a little bump going into turn 1. The car went up, landed, and then wouldn't get quite to the bottom, like you said. Elliott second, 28.407. Ryan Newman was good in practice.
Yep.
In fact, all of the Childress cars, all 3 of them, were pretty strong in practice. Ty Dillon in the Childress affiliated number 13, the Geico Chevy. Here's the Granger Chevy on your left.
I don't have the numbers in front of me. What is the 31 Ryan doing? He got what, 8 poles here or something? Didn't he have some big number of poles here?
I have this big tablecloth size
It would
chart
be
here to look at.
9 poles.
9, thank you.
There you go.
Newman third, 28.52. Ty Dillon fourth. Timmy Hill sixth.
And see, Mike, I think a little bit of confusion about the adhesive stuff they put on the racetrack too is it only works good when it's warm. There's a fine line between when it's too hot and it's slick and too cool when it won't create any grip. So that might be a little, because it's not hot out there today. We don't have the sun beaming down. It's not 90 degrees like it was last week. Could have a little effect on these cars.
Jamie McMurray, the Gear Wrench Chevrolet. Chip Ganassi third, 28.42. Brad Keselowski and Jeffrey Earnhardt. Track officials told us that they had diluted the traction compound by about 50% so that it would start to work and come in quicker. Keselowski fifth, 28.59. And you'll see Dale Jr. come up onto the track as Jamie McMurray was on his cool down.
Whoa. Ooh. I mean, I know that looks close to us. It looks even closer if you're out there in those cars.
Danica Patrick, the code 1 Ford.
But it's important for Dale Jr. to come out. You want to come out of the pits and get up to speed. As always, like to say, you want to drive it like you stole it when you get ready to make your lap here. So you want to get up to speed as quickly as possible, and that's what Jr. was trying to do. But McMurray was a little bit in his way.
Love all these patriotic paint schemes like the Nationwide Chevy of Dale Jr., who is sixth fastest, 28.61. And Danica times in eighth, 28.91. Trevor Bayne in the Ford EcoBoost Fusion. Sparks fly, as they often do from the Roush cars during qualifying. And Matt Kenseth in Circle K Toyota had some really strong laps in practice. Bayne seventh, 28.60. And there's Ryan Blaney for the Wood brothers. I mentioned during practice, David Pearson drove the Wood brothers Mercury 14 times at Charlotte and started on the front row every single time. Matt Kenseth, top of the chart, 28.30. Kenseth fastest. Martin Truex on the track in the Bass Pro Shops Toyota.
Yeah,
and Joey Logano, the Pennzoil Ford.
Kenseth's got his first win here back in 2000 in the Coke 600. He won the pole here in 2015, so pretty good run by him. Also, Blaney, it's his third Coke 600, and the Wood brothers have won this thing 4 times. So they all know a little bit about this joint.
Truex 8th, 28.54. Matt DiBenedetto clocks in 13th.
You know, every now and then you'll read something that kind of surprises you. I don't know why I should. Kyle Petty won the 600 in the Wood brothers car.
That's right. Micah McDowell 13th, 28.66. There's the Harris Teeter Chevy for A.J. Allmendinger. 14th, Joey Logano 15th. Keep an eye on Eric Jones. Green light for Jones. He was top of the chart in practice, and on the left, Clint Boyer in the Haas Automation Ford.
Eric said that this is not the same car he ran last week. He ran it through the grass, kind of messed it up. But he said they brought back a much better car today. He felt like it had a lot of speed in it.
Top of the chart for the driver of the 5-hour Energy Toyota, Eric Jones, 28.30. Clint Boyer 10th at a 28.59. And this is Tommy Baldwin's very patriotic looking Chevrolet that Elliott Sadler's been driving. And there's the 43 of Richard Petty. Regan Smith once again substituting for Eric Almirola. Casey Kane in the Liftmaster Chevy.
I think this is
J.J. Yaley is in that 7 for Baldwin.
Right. Yeah,
and he is 23rd.
Regan Smith's first start this year in a Cup car. Other than, I mean, you know, obviously last week, but in a points race.
So bumping has begun. Jeffrey Earnhardt, Derek Cope, Timmy Hill, and Cole Witt have been bumped. And now Yaley knocked out of the top 25 by Regan Smith and Kane. Daniel Suarez. Watch the Subway Toyota en route to an 8th place run here.
Ooh, boy, you see those front wheels move around. The car just a little bit loose, but he's really kind of, you can see him there working the wheel. He stayed in it and put down a pretty nice lap, 8th quick.
Greg Galding has been bumped. Landon Castle on the hot seat. Here's the Fastenal Ford for Ricky Stenhouse.
Stenhouse started 3rd in this race last year. Had trouble in practice, so the car wasn't very good.
Denny Hamlin, the 11, the FedEx Office Toyota. Nice run for Stenhouse. 3rd, 28-32.
They fixed it.
And Kyle Larson still waiting on his car. Let's get an update.
Well, he's the co-favorite to win the race. He's definitely one of the favorites to win the pole here, and I believe he has about 1 minute to go as the car sits on the LIS. You see head shaking. Kyle's been walking with the car the whole process. Crew Chief Chad Johnston standing here looking on. They're trying to get the car just right on the platform so that the measurements are exact, but the time is ticking down for Kyle Larson.
Denny Hamlin fastest. Not anymore. Kyle Busch basically rolled out of the inspection station onto pit road and onto the track. Kyle 28-21.
He was a fast car over here last week, Mike. He was actually down in 27 last week, 27.92,
wow.
I think it was. So, well, maybe a little speed left in all these cars.
Danica Patrick's been bumped. So has Matt DiBenedetto and Joey Logano, who I believe has the most final round appearances this year. Logano right now on the hot seat, 24th, as Paul Menard is timed in 9th in his Menard Chevrolet.
I just don't know what's going on with those Penske cars, the 22 particularly. They just haven't had any speed. Didn't have any last week, and he's back here in 24th today. So I'd be concerned if I were them.
Kurt Busch on track and Ty Dillon out for a 2nd run.
Mike, to follow up on Kyle Larson, Jamie's report, we're down to 2 minutes. He can't get buckled in that car that quick. And remember, he has to start the lap, which means he's going to have to leave pit road somewhere around 35 seconds to go. So they're not going to get a qualifying run in.
I think they realize that too, Larry. They're just standing there staring at the car, and they keep moving the car around, and it's not doing any good.
Greg Galding on the left, Landon Castle on the right, out for a 2nd run. The Bubba Burgers Toyota. And the CSX play it safe. Ford.
Greg Galding, he's a really good little kid. This is his first start at Charlotte, but I think he's got a lot of talent.
So 36 cars have taken time. There are 4 left in inspection. Danica's going back out. So is Logano. As Ty Dillon now in the bubble. Logano is going to have to play 2 if he's going to advance. Casey Kane's been bumped.
We saw last week, you know, with Ty Dillon or Austin Dillon, he went back out. He wasn't very good and was able to get himself in the top 5. We'll see what Logano can do here because he's definitely in trouble.
David Reagan on the right. The 37 just rolled off pit road. Chris Buescher. And with 53 seconds to go,
can't make it.
I don't see how.
No, yeah, again, you have to be leaving pit road by about 30 to 35 seconds to be able to start a lap.
David Reagan 28.70, misses it by 1/100th of a second. Corey LaJoie still in inspection along with Kyle Larson. Is Logano going to bump in? Green light so far to Ty Dillon on the bubble, and that gap is growing. Here comes Logano.
Pretty good lap by Logano.
15.
Moved up.
Knocks out Ty Dillon.
Danica.
A.J. Allmendinger coming.
Danica bumped up to 10. Yeah.
Danica Patrick to 13th.
Finished 11th over here last October, so she does get around this place pretty good, and that car was good today.
Allmendinger is bumped. Casey Kane on the clock, trying to improve from 28th.
I had to pick up a bunch to do it, and he may be way. He's looking
green light if it holds.
Good.
Going to be close. He's in 18th.
Oh yeah.
And that bumps Regan Smith at the last moment. Regan Smith fails to transfer by 7/1000ths of a second. That is the difference.
Our points leader and our pole setter from last week didn't even get to try.
Kyle Busch will lead 24 drivers to round 2. Kyle Larson did not get a chance to qualify. Remember, they bounced off the wall in practice earlier today. Did not elect to go to a backup car, fixed that one, but did not make it through inspection. Jamie?
Ongoing conversation by the team there, disputing their numbers on the LIS system. And this is definitely one of the most prestigious races of the year. And to get the pole, it's very important. You didn't get that chance. What are your thoughts right now?
I guess it'd be cooler to win from last than from the pole. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess upset with myself for getting in the wall in practice there because it put us behind on getting to the tech line. But we still failed a couple times. The machine wouldn't work there, late, and probably cost us a minute and a half, and we actually passed, and then, we just didn't have enough time to get out there. So, had the machine worked right when we got up there, maybe we would have made it out there for that round, but I don't know. I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know much about how the tech process works and all that. I know all the teams hate it, and it's just teams point NASCAR, NASCAR points at the teams, so it's just I don't know, it's confusing to me.
Like you said, it's going to be fun watching Kyle Larson in the 42 come from the back, Matt.
Regan Smith from the 43 was bumped out. You're to start 25th. What'd you fight most?
The car was actually pretty good. We got a little bit tight and just a little bit on the splitter, and we didn't really have a time to get out and make a second run. We were waiting for a clean lap the first run, and the way that the whole session cycled through was kind of weird, and Casey got a lap at the end there and bumped us out of this whole deal. So, I felt like our car was probably going to be good enough to be somewhere around 15th on the next round with a little adjustment and getting to work just a little bit. But, these guys have done a nice job all week long. I'm not their normal guy. They're adapting to me. I'm adapting to them. And I feel like we're going to have a good day on Sunday. We're going to have fun representing the U.S. Air Force and driving the King's 43. That's pretty cool. And, outside of that, it should be a fun day.
Doesn't get any better, Larry, than driving the famous 43.
Just to put a period in this inspection, I go back to 18 years as a crew chief, and it was my job to push the envelope on everything that I could push it on, because I knew if I was not, that the competition I was racing against was. And it's a fine line right now for these crew chiefs, but it's a fine line for NASCAR. NASCAR doesn't want to fail anybody in inspection, but what I applaud with NASCAR is the gauntlet was laid at Daytona during February. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to inspect these cars. And it's going to be the same here at Daytona, at Martinsville, Charlotte, and throughout the season. And they have not backed off. The bottom line is 38 cars made it through inspection, and a lot of them through the first time. Some of these fast cars that's up at the top of the speed sheet. It's not that anybody's doing anything wrong. It's just both groups are doing their jobs, and it's a very fine line.
But it is a line. Kyle Larson and Corey LaJoie were the two cars that did not complete inspection in time to post a qualifying lap. Welcome back to Charlotte, getting ready for round 2 of 3-round knockout qualifying. You heard Kyle Larson's interview about his difficulty going through inspection, and so did NASCAR. Let's get an update from Jamie.
Well, NASCAR was listening to that interview. They were standing right over my shoulder, and they heard what Kyle said about the machine not working. Scott Miller from NASCAR confirmed the machine is working fine, and that is the LIS that we're speaking of. To Kyle's credit, he did say he's not sure what's going on, but the machine didn't work. The problem was, according to NASCAR, the team didn't get it up on the platform the right way, and that's why it took extra time in that LIS machine.
Thanks, Jamie. So the difficulty was in the team positioning the car and not in the machine itself not working. So
I think Junior's got a little more confidence in this car. He made this top to, to the next round, and he's first car to jump out there and put a lap up on the board. So I think he's feeling a little bit better about this piece after they worked on it all through practice.
24 cars in round 2, half of which will advance to the final round. And there is no sun on the racetrack at this point. That sun has gone behind a big cloud. Larry, I guess one advantage to going first is if you're going to get in the final round, you're going to have maximum cool down time.
Yeah, it gives time for the tires to cool down, Mike, and obviously ample time to cool down the water system. So yeah, this is the round. Once we get to round 2, you can't just sit down there and wait and wait and wait.
Yeah, I think though I heard him say it was on the splitter, and that's not good. You can't really fix that, and that's a 28.43.
That's faster than round 1.
A little bit quicker. We'll see how that stacks up against everybody else. I think everybody will be quicker in this round.
And if needed, more time to cool down the driver. Brad Keselowski, 28.50. That is a 10th faster than round 1.
Again, I just don't see the speed in the 2 and the 22 the last couple of weeks over here. I don't know what's going on with those guys. They're usually pretty good on mile and a half.
Matt Kenseth's Toyota takes the green to start his lap.
Those Gibbs cars were 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you noticed that or not in our last session.
Yes. Kevin Harvick on the right of your screen.
They were also very fast in practice, so about the time you start to want to write somebody off or you think somebody's, you know, got problems, here they come.
A lot of green lights there.
Yes, sir. That's a great lap by Kenseth, 28.25.
That's half a tenth faster than round one. At Harvick, 27.94.
Now we're talking.
He picks up 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, that's the first car to get into 27s. And I've only seen one other car even last week and today all through practice that I mentioned earlier. Kyle Busch was in the 27.90s. So finally somebody breaks that 27-second barrier.
Trevor Bayne third, now fourth. Denny Hamlin third, 28.41. Darrell, Harvick picked up 4/10.
Yeah, I think this will be I think this will be a fast round. That first round, you just want to move on to the next round, which is what a lot of these guys did. Put down a pretty safe lap and then really save the best for this round and hopefully the final round, the final 12. And these guys, believe it or not, are smart enough to know that. They know how quickly they got back in the throttle. They know how much they got left. And they do a pretty nice job of managing their tires, their cars through these 3 sessions.
Austin Dillon sixth. He picked up 1.5 tenths. Eric Jones second, picks up half a tenth. His teammate Martin Truex is on a flyer, and coming to the green is Ryan Blaney. David Pearson, 14 races in the 21 here, 14 front row starts, 11 poles. Amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, that was then and this is now, but wow.
Yeah, this is third 600 start. And, as we said earlier, Woods will run this thing 4 times.
Truex second, 28.18. He picks up 3.5 tenths.
That's a nice pickup for the 78, and their teammate is right there with him.
Blaney picks up 2 tenths, 28.19. Jamie Mack sixth, 28.29. He picked up 1.5 tenths, and here comes Ryan Newman in the 31.
And Mike would mention picking up speed, but again, it's not hot out there today, but the sun has gone down. The track doesn't have any sunshine on it. It's cooler than it was in the first go round. That's going to gain a little bit of grip and a little bit of speed.
Now, of the 11 drivers who've taken time, Denny Hamlin in 7th is the only one who did not go faster in round 2. Newman 7th, 28.41. That's 1/10 faster than the first round as Chase Elliott takes the green.
Yeah, I think that Hamlin 11 car, they may end up having to go back out. They're 8th right now with a lot of good cars to go. So that may be a deal where they got to go back out to get to the final 12.
Clint Boyer on track, and Kyle Busch on the clock.
14.
Boyer second to his teammate Harvick, 28.17. He picked up 0.4 of a second. Chase Elliott second, 28.16, 2.5 tenths better than round 1. Kyle Busch second.
Oh wow!
By
look at that.
2/1000ths of a second.
Wow. That was unbelievably close.
Michael McDowell 14th. So Trevor Bayne on the hot seat. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 1 spot out.
Yeah, Hamlin's sitting there in 11th, and I'm thinking he may have to go out. The 11 and the 31 are both tied, Mike, and the 11 actually is 10th.
Because of car owner points.
Right.
Kurt Busch, Paul Menard on the right. 16 drivers have taken time. Menard getting up to speed. Busch across the line.
Don't you like looking at driver shots and just look at the different positions that the drivers put themselves in? These drivers are all, this is a comfort zone. This is where they wanted this is how they want to sit in the seat. And look at Paul Menard where he is. Look over at Kurt Busch, totally laid back like a lounge chair. Everybody does it a little bit differently. Everybody holds the steering wheel a little bit differently. It's their comfort zone.
Danica Patrick, who was 13th in round 1.
Just a little bit loose getting into turn 3 right there. Car was moving around quite a bit with Danica.
Menard is in. He's 11th. He knocks out actually Ryan Newman. Danica Patrick 11th. That knocks out Denny Hamlin.
I think
Jimmy Johnson, Joey Logano.
I think 11 will go back out.
Ooh, Logano 19th. Only picked up 4 100ths.
He and his teammate are right there together. A 28.501 and a 28.509. They're just not quite there today.
Nope. Ford 1st and 4th, Harvick and Boyer. Toyota 2nd and 5th, Busch and Truex. Chevrolet 3rd with Elliott.
Remember, Mike, we talked to Kevin Harvick over here last week, and those Stewart-Haas cars are all brand new. They're in-house cars, in-house chassis, the cars that they put together from their own stable, which all of them are very fast, even Danica and the whole crowd.
Jimmy Johnson, it's going to be close, 28-36. That knocks out Paul Menard. Johnson by 1 100th over Danica Patrick, who is on the hot seat now.
Darrell, back to the SHR deal. You know, you don't get to do any testing. I just think that test at Kentucky for the 41 car paid huge dividends.
I agree, Larry.
Ricky Stenhouse to 11th. He bumps Danica Patrick. It's ironic. Jimmy Johnson to 12th. I didn't say it was funny. I said it was ironic.
No one was laughing.
Okay. Just the boys in the back. Casey Kane 24th. And Dale Jr. out for another run, trying to break into the top dozen.
You know, Casey Kane's won this thing 3 times. So he knows how to win the 600. He's got 4 total wins here.
Minute and a half to go in round 2.
88's got a little work here. Junior's just, I don't think he's going to make top 12.
Trying to bump his teammate Jimmy Johnson out of the top dozen. Earnhardt currently is 18th. Austin Dillon going back out.
That car looks like it's got a speed in it. If you try to exceed that speed, it does not like it. Looks to me like the most trouble he has is turn 3. He just can't get the car to get in there without getting a little wiggly and loose.
He was slower on that lap. This is Austin Dillon. Denny Hamlin also trying to break in from 16th, or 15th rather. Dillon is faster on that lap, but does not advance.
Got the 11 back out. He's 15th right now. We'll see if he can pick up. I thought he might be able to.
Bain and Keselowski, Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin have a good shot to bump in here. Hamlin in 10th. Johnson is out. Stenhouse to the bubble. Here comes Keselowski. Bain not quite enough.
Got a little speed here. I think two's going to make it.
And
10th.
Keselowski bounces Stenhouse.
Power is expired. All cars can come back.
McMurray ends up on the bubble, and Ricky Stenhouse misses advancing by 3 100ths of a second.
But Mike, that was pretty good qualifying, the way they kept kicking somebody out. The guys going back out making second runs. Worked out pretty good for some of them.
2 of those Stewart-Haas Fords picked up 4/10ths of a second in this round, led by Kevin Harvick. Positions 13 through 40 have been settled. Stenhouse and Johnson, Patrick, Menard, Newman and Bain, Earnhardt and Suarez will start in the top 20. Joey Logano not advancing. He and Brad Keselowski, his teammate, will. And here are the drivers who were bumped out in round 1. And Kyle Larson and LaJoie, who did not get to take time, didn't get through inspection in time. Jamie?
Well, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was 27th in practice, and you almost got the wall there. So it seems like you guys fixed the car a little bit. You feel like you found a little something for that qualifying session?
We definitely picked up for the qualifying session. Brian and all the guys worked on our Fastenal Ford and got it better. I thought that we needed to pick up like a half a tenth from our first run, and we didn't do that. We like identical lap times to our first run. So I didn't think that was going to make it in, and we were 11th at the time. And then Denny and Brad went out and went a little quicker. So 13th, not a bad starting spot, for 600 miles. Memorial Day weekend. I feel like nobody does Memorial Day better than NASCAR. So looking forward to practice on Saturday. My Outlaw team's running tomorrow night at the dirt track. So we got a full weekend ahead.
Are you superstitious at all? Like starting 13th, is that like a good thing for you?
No, I don't really have any superstitions. So I just know that 13th is better than 23rd or 14th, 15th, or 16th. So the closer you can start to the front of these races, especially here at Charlotte, just the better opportunity you have to make a great race out of it. Track position means a lot here. I think we saw that in the All-Star race. So we're going to try to keep our track position while the sun goes down, and then hopefully we'll have it set up for the nighttime.
All right, Stenhouse, the 17. A lot of speed on 1.5 miles this year, Mike.
Thanks, Jamie. That's for sure. Kevin Harvick, fastest in round 2 in his Ford. Here's the list. Now, Ford has only won the pole for one of the last 15 600s. That was Zarek Almirola in 2012.
Well, once you look at all those Toyotas and those Fords, and there's only 2 Chevrolets, Chase Elliott up there in 3rd, and Jamie McMurray in 12th.
So Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick have won the first 2 rounds. Who will win the pole? There sits Kevin Harvick, hoping to put a Ford on the pole for only the 2nd time in the last 15 years of this race.
That's hard to believe, man. It really is.
Well, you know, after Pearson won 11 in the row, you'd think they might have changed a rule or two.
They may have.
Gosh.
I know we would ask them to. You can just see Junior. Look, he's just talking about how rough the car is riding and how abrupt it goes across the bumps and what he's feeling.
5 minutes for the final round. Okay.
Okay, which
now
one's
class.
which? Quick, which one's which?
One has a red roof and one has a black roof. I don't know which is which. Okay, Truex has the black roof. Eric Jones has the other roof. That would be red.
See, I love you, Mike, because I'm trying to see the number.
I know you are. Well, I'm trying to help you from a distance. Neither one of us can see the number. So there you go. Truex rolls out first, and Kevin Harvick is on it.
At least they're both in the same race this weekend.
I'm here for you, Dion.
I know. I love you, brother.
Yes, sir. All right.
After 17 years, you know, what the heck. Mike, we've been doing this 17 years.
I know.
We've been sitting up here watching these cars go around for 17 years.
I'm sorry. I should have said, I know. Not, I know. And Larry's been with us every step of the way.
Yep.
I got out of there, though.
Yeah, that's right.
I moved over next door.
Yeah, but here's the difference. The booth he's in now is padded.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. 28.23 for Martin Truex. That's not his fastest lap. It's 5/100 slower than round 2. But here comes Happy.
And he's going to be with this lap, I do believe. Yeah, baby.
Ka-chow. 27.91. That's even 3/100ths faster than his 2nd round.
Yeah.
Which was the fastest lap of the day to that point.
He's really good at managing his tires and his car.
Just enough to have to get out of the throttle off of 4. Good job, guys.
So he's saying it could have been faster.
Yeah, well, I think the only guy that can really challenge him, what we've seen, is the 18 car, Kyle Busch. We'll see what he's got. He's the only guy that was close to him in the 2nd round. Unless there's a surprise out there somewhere, and there goes the 21.
Could be either of these young guns. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott.
That 21 car has been one of the fastest cars all year long. I mean, started at Daytona, finished 2nd, and he's been on the pole, and it's a guy just waiting to win a race.
That's Chase Elliott's fastest lap of the day at 28.08. And Ryan Blaney, 3rd, 28.16. That's his fastest lap of the day. So the track is gaining grip, gaining speed.
A little bit of speed. Yep.
You want one that can surprise? How about Eric Jones?
How about these youngsters? Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones. Folks, we have some young talent, and they're going to be heard about for a long, long time. Matt
Kenseth showering sparks through turns 1 and 2.
And Mike, we you know, when the sun goes down, it gets a little darker. We see sparks. We see rotors glow. We don't see those things so much in the daytime.
Right.
Those are things you see at night.
Eric Jones picked up a 10th, 28-15. He is third.
I don't know about that little bobble there by the 20. See what that does to him.
Third for Kenseth, 28-10. That's his fastest lap of the night. Kyle Busch, second, 28-05. He fell off a 10th from round 2. Kurt Busch.
Stuart Haas cars are pretty serious. Pretty serious this weekend.
Well, Boyer 8th. He fell off a 10th from round 2. Jamie McMurray.
Got 1 minute to go here. Running out of time.
4 cars to go.
Comes Hamlin to get the green, see what he can do. Probably made some air pressure adjustments on that car to help it a little bit.
Kurt Busch was 9th, about the same speed of his first round. And Brad Keselowski just rolling. McMurray 9th, pushing Busch back to 10th. McMurray fell off half a 10th from round 2. Still better than his first round speed. So Hamlin and Keselowski will be the final 2.
There goes Hamlin. What did he put up? Pretty nice run there considering what he had to do to get in this round.
That is his fastest lap of the night. 6th for Denny Hamlin. And now the Miller Lite 4 to Brad Keselowski will be the final qualifier.
You see the car moving around a whole lot there, and that's just killing speed. When you see the car wobble around a little, bobble around a little bit, that's just knocking speed right out of it.
Kevin Harvick looking on at the big screen, watching Brad Keselowski's run.
Oh, he's safe.
And a half. Tenth for Keselowski. Kevin Hamlin has won the Coors Light pole for Sunday night's Coca-Cola 600. It's his 20th career pole. He was on pole at Texas, and he leads the league. He and Rodney Childers, crew chief there on the right, with 3 poles this season. Matt?
Mike, a special co-pilot across the windshield, Captain Brent Morrell, will be riding with Harvick on Sunday. Your first pole for the Coca-Cola 600, you're chasing your 3rd win. Do you feel like you left a little bit out there in turn 4?
Yeah, I felt like I got through 1 and 2 pretty good. That's where I had been struggling, and I knew I didn't need to overdrive that particular corner. And I didn't overdrive the entry, and I got back to the gas and was in the gas, and the thing just started to slide a little bit. But all in all, our Mobil 1 Jimmy John's Busch Ford was fast, so it was definitely breathtaking, I guess you could say, all 3 laps because it was so edgy to drive. But all in all, I guess they say loose is fast, but just really proud of my guys, and that's a good start to a long night.
Mike?
Yeah, Mike, congratulations to Doug Yates and Robert Yates, the new Hall of Famer on the pole for the Coke 600.
Kevin Harvick is your pole sitter in Charlotte. Only the 2nd Ford pole winner in the last 16 races here. Here's your front row for the Coca-Cola 600. Coverage begins 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox this Sunday. And the difference was, in the final round, Kevin Harvick picked up 3/100ths of a second, while Kyle Busch slowed down 8/100ths of a second from his run in round 2. And that made all the difference. Jamie?
Well, Kyle may have slowed down a little bit, but still it's the best qualifying effort this year by you and the 18 team. Coming off your first Cup win here last weekend, any indication if you guys will have that kind of speed for 600 miles here on Sunday?
Well, it's certainly nice to just have the speed right now. You know, our M&M's red, white, and blue Camry's got some speed. It showed up when we unloaded it right off the truck. We were pretty quick the first couple sessions, and then guys kind of caught up to us a little bit through the practice. But overall, you know, can't say enough about the guys all at Joe Gibbs Racing, everybody at TRD. It shows that we've got performance right now, so we just got to put it all together. It's a long, long day. Starting up front doesn't necessarily mean anything right now. It's just good for pit selection, obviously, and hopefully Adam and my boys, we can get it all tuned up tomorrow and get ready for a great 600 miles.
Trying to get his first official Cup win here at Charlotte, Mike.
Winner of the All-Star race last weekend. There's Coach Gibbs coming up to have a word with Kyle. after qualifying on the outside pole. So the first 3 in the lineup will be 1 Ford, 1 Toyota, and 1 Chevrolet. And those Gibbs cars, as you said, they came to play 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 20th.
Oh,
Joe
yeah.
Gibbs.
They look pretty serious. They did last week. They do again this week. I think they've turned the corner.
Stay with us and we'll run you through the entire starting lineup for Sunday's race. Kevin Harvick being honored on Liftmaster Pole Night with all the trophies and accolades of winning his 20th pole. He's got a big win here too. This will be 2013 on Stock Car Racing's longest night. Kevin Harvick first to see the checkered flag.
Elena pretty happy about that.
Got that win for Richard Childress. And Harvick, now with 3 poles, leads the league in that category. They're your pole winners so far this year. Look for those drivers next February in the Clash at Daytona. Matt Kenseth, the Richmond pole winner, timed in 4th today. He's with Matt Yoakum.
Matt Kenseth, solid top 5 start for Sunday 600 miler. How important to set the tone for the weekend, and it starts today?
You know, it's really important, as everybody talks about, and you see it every week. You know, qualifying is very important. Restarts, pit stops, strategy, all that stuff's important, especially with all those stage points, you know, on the line throughout the race. So we had some pretty good speed in our Circle K Camry today, and I'm glad we got a decent lap. We weren't near as fast as the 4. Obviously, we got a little work to do, but we were pretty respectable.
Chasing his 3rd win here at Charlotte.
Well, Matt's on the pole winner list, and he's on this list as well. Beginning with David Pearson, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte. There's Matt, Casey Mears, and David Rudiman with crew chief Rodney Childers, all of them getting their first NASCAR Cup Series victory in the Coca-Cola 600. Kenseth won it as a rookie, first time he'd ever gone 600 miles in one race. When we come back, we'll take a look at some drivers who could join that list this Sunday night. How hard is it to win the Coca-Cola 600? Only 3 of the drivers starting in the top 11 spots have won it. Here are some drivers who have not been to victory lane in NASCAR's longest race.
2
Penske teammates.
Yep.
Kyle Busch, best finish at 3rd. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has yet to win it. Denny Hamlin. Here's Jamie.
Where Brad Keselowski picked up a little bit of time there, ended up 10th for Sunday's race. And we've been watching you in the 22, and it looks like you guys were a little off last week. Do you have a focus and where you guys need to work on Saturday for Sunday?
Yeah, well, you know, we've been on both sides of it, so that's good. You know, you get a car that's, you know, loose and turns a little too much, and you get a car that's tight and doesn't turn enough. You say, oh, well, that's good. We can find the middle. We just haven't quite found the balance exactly where we want it to be. I thought the 2nd and 3rd stages of the All-Star race, we were actually really good, but we, you know, lost the track position and had all the tire snafu stuff with NASCAR. So that was unfortunate, but I think all in all, we'll find the right balance and we'll be in good shape for Sunday's race.
Your car is definitely one of the most patriotic, one of my favorite cars that I've seen the last 2 weekends. What does it mean to you to race here, the 600 miles of remembrance?
Well, you know, this is a big race for our sport. Memorial Day weekend is a big weekend for all motorsports, but you know, I think of this race as kind of 2 separate boxes that makes it fun. One is it's 600 miles, and it's, you know, a big test for a driver. And as a driver, we all kind of, you know, think we're Superman, and you get a chance to run for 600 miles and really prove your worth at a race like this. And so that's really cool. I like that challenge. And then you think about on Memorial Day weekend, you know, the history of the sport is really based on people that came back from World War II and had a need for speed and loved action and created NASCAR. And so from that perspective, there's always been a strong tie to the military, and it's great to honor that tradition some 60 or 70 years later. Thank you.
A solid top 5 qualifying effort for Eric Jones. How important do you feel, looking back, the All-Star weekend was for you, all that on-track time, learning the nuances of racing here in the Cup car?
Well, I think it's like coming back to the track for the 2nd time. You know, it's I've been looking forward to this year and getting back to places for the 2nd time. This is the first time we've really got to do it. So anytime as a rookie driver, a rookie team, you know, we look forward to just having some nose to lean on, and me some experience to lean on just in how I'm getting around in place. So I think it's been a big help, you know, just firing off the weekend and being able to go right out in Q trim, just on our car for qualifying right away. It's been good. So, you know, the 5-hour Energy Camry was fast, not quite as fast as what we had in practice, unfortunately. You know, the weather cooled down a lot, and we just kind of were trying to catch up, and we got close in that final round, just not quite close enough to get the pole.
Performance certainly showing it. First and fifth, the on-track 2 sessions here today at Charlotte.
It'll be his best career start. And there goes the Pope Mobile. That's Darrell's little electric car. Uh-oh. I see Michael Waltrip and Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace, are you kidding me?
They've stolen your car.
Where's Jimbo?
The NASCAR Hall of Fame class of 2018 announced yesterday. Red Byron, NASCAR's first champ. Crew Chief Deluxe Ray Evernham. Ron Hornaday, all-time truck champion. Ken Squire, who's done so much for NASCAR TV and radio for so long. And Robert Yates, championship-winning engine builder and team owner. We'll be right back. Here's the starting lineup for Sunday night at Charlotte. That top 10, 4 Fords, 5 Toyotas, and Chase Elliott's Chevrolet. Big day for the Joe Gibbs team, with Kevin Harvick winning the pole for Stuart Haas. A lot of contenders back through the top 20. And Joey Logano back there at row 12.
Some good cars, you know, mid-pack, back, toward the rear of the field. And, of course, we're going to see one real good one here in a second. That guy there in the inside of row 20.
Yep, Kyle Larson did not get to make a qualifying lap, did not make it through inspection in time, so they will start from the rear. So tomorrow is play day here. Action at the dirt track. A lot of fans will get to visit some race shops. And we'll be back on FS1 on Saturday with Coca-Cola 600 practice bright and early, 9 a.m. Xfinity qualifying, Coke 600 final practice. Then 12:30 p.m. NASCAR race day. And at 1 o'clock on FS1 Saturday, the Xfinity Series from Charlotte. We'll see you Saturday morning, folks. Enjoy your Friday.